I'm here with my boy Jeremy. We're here to present you our MLB On Deck segment for Tuesday, June 11th. If you're new to this channel, please make sure to click the subscribe button below so you can watch all of our MLB, NBA, and NFL videos. If you haven't came and checked out our website here at dfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, daily FanDuel, and DraftKings cash lineups. Hey, we're truly a one-stop shop for our DFS needs. So make sure to come check out the site here at dfscheatsheet.com. So, hey, what up, Jeremy? How you doing out there, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. One thing I just quickly wanted to say, I'm not saying this just to say this. Yesterday, our on deck video, we were on absolute point. Deep dive came out. You did a very good job with that. The core video did good. Yesterday was a really good day of MLB for us. As far as playing wise, content was on point. So hey, man, make sure that you check out the site, get your free 2-week trial. And hey, man, join the money team. Start winning some money. We've been on absolute fire. So
I'm trying to tell people that there's something wrong with the Philadelphia Phillies pitching staff. There's something wrong with it, right? You look at their ISOs and they have these crazy splits against left-handed bats, and it's all about finding the right time to use that Philadelphia pitching staff. If there's a couple of left-handed bats in there, Aaron Nola is a good example of a guy who's been able to navigate through a lineup that's got 1 or 2 left-handed bats in it. But when they come with 4 or 5 left-handed bats, it's a problem. It's a problem for that pitching staff.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, man, I'm ready to jump in, talk some baseball. I feel like I got some good spots that I kind of found today to kind of get the day going that I'm going to be targeting. So you ready to go, bro?
Yeah, for sure.
Real quick before we do, if you guys don't mind, please take that quick second, click the like button down below. Helps me out. Really appreciate that from you guys. And yeah, let's go. So I'm just going to go to the main event. We got Coors Field on the slate. Whenever Coors Field's on the slate, it's a place that you really want to target. Yesterday, I was more on the Rockies side of things. Today, I'm a little bit more on the Cubs side of things. So I'll start with the Cubs first. They get a matchup against Peter Lambert. On paper, the guy looks good. I mean, 25% hard contact rate, .000 ISO to lefties, .059 ISO to righties. It is a small sample size. The guy's getting a matchup in Coors Field against the Chicago Cubs team, who's really starting to pick it up, swing a really good bat. I'm going to be honest. In this game, you're basically looking at everybody everybody that's in the lineups are almost in play. But some guys that are standing out to me first on the Chicago side of things. Played Kyle Schwarber yesterday, had him in my core play. He's really starting to swing a good bat, and sure enough, he went yard. I think you could definitely go back to the well there. Chris Bryant, Rizzo, Baez, their main guys are definitely in play. And then something that I didn't really mention yesterday, you got Cargo going against his old team. This is his first time back in Colorado since leaving last year. Outside of yesterday, this is his first kind of trip back to Colorado. So Cargo, I think, is definitely in play. Wilson Contreras. I'm liking all these Cubs, man. I mean, obviously, we got to see how the lineup shakes out, but I think the Cubs are in play. Probably the top spot on the slate, in my opinion. On the flip side of things, you can look at Jose Quintana. Jose Quintana isn't a bad pitcher, but he gets a matchup in Coors Field against Colorado, who has a couple really good lefty matchers. Jose Quintana gives up a 36% hard contact rate, .061 to lefties, 164 to righties. So he's pretty good against lefties. You definitely want to target him with righties. The main guys that are kind of standing out to me, you look at Trevor Story, Arenado. Both of those guys have absolutely crushed left-hand pitching throughout their career. Desmond's starting to pick it up a little bit, kind of find his stroke a little bit. And then you can also throw in the righty, the young guy, Brendan Rodgers. The guy definitely has some upside. So, yeah, man, the Cubs, the Rockies, that's the spot you kind of want to get some kind of exposure to on today's slate. Moving outside of this, I'm going to move to Boston. But this is a spot, and I know you're gonna say it, and I've learned baseball now. You're the baseball guy, I'm more the basketball guy, and I've seen Boston's implied total today. Boston has a really high implied total. Their implied total is higher than Colorado. It didn't really make sense to me, but they get a matchup against Ariel Jurado. The guy's actually he's coming off a good start, right? Isn't that the guy that you called last outing and he did very good?
I sure did.
Yep. So they get a matchup against Ariel Gerardo, gives up a 36% hard contact rate, .074 ISO to lefties.
Bro, let me ask you a question real quick. You said I haven't looked at implied run. I rarely look at implied run totals until I do the deep dive. So
Boston's way up there.
Okay, so then where is Texas?
Texas is not even in the top 6.
Where are they though?
For me?
No, I'm saying Texas is where is Texas's implied run total? What is it? Like where?
We got it on our side projected at 4.5.
All right.
So this is the thing about Boston, and the only reason I could think that their implied total is so high is Gerardo. He gives up a 225 ISO to righties, and Boston has some really good righties. I mean, that's kind of what really makes me feel like it's up there. I mean, I'm really just going to be targeting the 3 main righties for Boston.
I'm just going to tell you this: don't miss the deep dive. Maybe I'll just throw something in there for free right now. All right, so I'll just throw this out there. So Darwinzon Hernandez. Everybody knows who he is, right? Nobody knows who the fuck he is. I guarantee you this. This guy has pitched 9 games in AA, right? Not AAA. This guy's pitched 9 games in AA. AA doesn't use the baseball that MLB is using, okay? AAA does. Darwinzon Hernandez has a 1.4 record with a 5.13 ERA. He's pitched 2 innings. 2 1/3 innings in Major League Baseball, where he gave up 4 hits over 2 1/3 innings. And Texas's implied run total is not even like in the top 8 today.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, that's where it's at. So like I said, I mean, and like I'm bringing up the Boston thing is I'm not too crazy on Boston. I just wanted to quickly mention them for Boston. I mean, I'm just sticking with the 3 guys. It's Betts, Martinez, Bogart. You're saying that Gerardo struggles against righties. I'm sticking with those guys, and I mean that's really where I'm at. I don't have much interest outside of those 3 guys.
The crazy thing about JD Martinez this year is if you look at his ISO splits, he has a 435 ISO against left-handed pitching. His ISO is not over 200 versus right-handed pitching. It's a very crazy split.
He's always been a lefty masher.
Yeah, but his splits have not been that insane.
Yeah, I get you completely. So, hey, like I said, I just wanted to quickly mention Boston because they have the high implied total. But for me, I think that it's a good spot with the 3 guys I mentioned. You could kind of use them as one-offs. If you want to do, 4-3-1 stack, something like that, you could do a 3-3-2, get a couple of them in there. But for me, they're a little bit more GPP plays. I mean, Boston guys are the same prices as the Coors Field bats. I'm probably definitely going to go with the Coors Field bats. So moving on, outside of that, a team that we talked about yesterday, and it worked out for us. I'm going to go right back to the well today. You get the Washington Nationals going against Manny Benuelos. Gives up a 30% hard contact rate, 227 ISO to lefties, 270 ISO to righties. So I think this is a bad spot for Benuelos. 270 ISO to righties, like I said, 227 lefties. Those are both sides are very, very high. And then we just talked about it. It was, I think, 3 or 4 days ago. The Washington Nationals, they got a matchup against Lucchesi, the lefty. And everybody was on Lucchesi, and you were telling me, like, hey, bro, you don't want to take any left-hand pitchers against the Nationals. They absolutely crushed left-hand pitching. And sure enough, they went out there, and they absolutely tore up Lucchesi. So, hey, man, they get a matchup today against another lefty who has really high ISOs to both sides. I really like Washington. I think Washington is in a really, really good spot. I personally would put Washington over Boston today. Washington, man, I like them. They have a 190 team ISO. I mean, if you want me to kind of single some people out, you're looking at Trey Turner, Rendon, Soto's definitely in play. Brian Dozier starting to swing a little bit better bat. He's been a lefty masher for his career. We got to kind of see, how this lineup works out, who's in it or whatnot. But I really, really like these Washington Nationals today going against a lefty. They're top 3 in the league and against left-handed pitching. Moving on, another team that we talked about yesterday, and then I'm going to go right back to the well again. You get the Atlanta Braves at home. Very, very good hitting environment. They called the Brave Stadium the Coors Field of the East. Balls fly. It's starting to get hot around baseball. They get a matchup against Chris Archer. Chris Archer isn't Chris Archer that he used to be. I mean, it's showing. I mean, he got traded, and he had a couple good starts when he got traded, and things went downhill. This year has just been horrific for him. 39% hard contact rate, 221 ISO to lefties, 192 ISO to righties. I mean, you're looking at all the obvious guys: Acuna, Swanson, Freeman, Donaldson's in play, Markakis, Austin Riley's, showing us a power upside, and Ozzie Albies. He's in the bottom of the lineup, so people don't really play him as much. But this young guy, he's still really good. He's a stud. Atlanta's in a really good spot to have another really big game like they did yesterday. And last but not least, I'm gonna go with the Twins. The Twins are you told what were you say yesterday? Everybody on their team has at least a 220 ISO, correct?
Yep.
So hey, going with
their team ISO is 235.
Yes. Yep. So the Twins, they get a matchup against Mike Leake. Mike Leake isn't a good pitcher. Mike Leake's a gas can, gives up a 39% hard contact rate, 221 ISO to lefties, 248 ISO to righties. I mean, all the Twins are in play for the most part. I mean, they went through. I mean, you could honestly look at almost every single Twin going against Mike Leake today. I think today's the day they're going to put up a lot of runs. They're going to get some home runs up. Twins are definitely in play. So that's kind of where I'm at. One team I will just throw in there just because we talked about him yesterday and you cautioned everybody. So I'm going to have that same caution today. But the Mets and the New York Yankees game, it got rained out yesterday. But the Yankees have got a matchup against Jason Vargas. We talked about it, 41% hard contact rate, 191 ISO to lefties, 163 ISO to righties. But he's coming off a couple of really, really good starts, so it's not the absolute best matchup, and that's why I just kind of threw it in. It's kind of like a little bonus team I think you could get some exposure to. But we're looking at, the obvious guys. You're looking at, Gary Sanchez, you're looking at Voit, DJ LeMahieu, Hicks has come back and swinging a pretty good bat. Torres is definitely in play. So I just quickly want to throw in the Yankees. I think you could look at them, but we do want to caution you a little bit, just like we did yesterday. So just kind of sum it up bat-wise, I like the Coors Field game, Cubs, Colorado, Washington, Atlanta, the Twins, and then we could throw in a little bit of Boston, throw in a little bit of Yankees. Did I miss anybody that's kind of standing out to you? Did I kind of get the good spots? Kind of where you at?
Who did you cover? I'm sorry.
So it's all right. We got both sides of the Coors Field game, Washington, Atlanta, the Twins, threw in a little bit of Boston and a little bit of Yankees. Yeah. Oh, and you said you liked what did you just? Oh, the Texas. I didn't talk about Texas.
All right, so let me just cover a couple things really quick. So the Yankees, they do have, and I did say this yesterday, and this was off my initial research before I did the deep dive yesterday. So against left-handed pitching for the year, the Yankees, a 27% K percentage, only at 146 ISO against left-handed pitching. We know that they've gotten Didi back. We know that they've gotten Gary Sanchez back recently. Probably Sanchez been back for about 3 weeks. So we know that they've gotten some guys back. They're starting to get a little bit healthier. That they're close to getting Judge back. They're close to getting maybe Giancarlo Stanton back, etc. So we know they're getting healthier. In the past 3 weeks against left-handed pitching, they only have a 23.6 K percentage against left-handed pitching, and they've got a 191 ISO against left-handed pitching. So it doesn't look as good as it did when you start looking at the fact that was my mistake yesterday, only covering their year when we did the On Deck video. But not recognizing that over the last 3 weeks they have gotten guys back. They do have Didi back in the lineup. They also do get they have had Gary Sanchez back in the lineup as well. So that's the first point to cover. The Cubs. Let's talk about the Cubs just quickly. The Cubs are going to face Lambert today. Lambert, not a very good pitcher if you just look at his AAA stats, where he's 2-2 with a 5.07 ERA over 16 1/3 innings, surrendering 63 hits and 34 earned runs. But he does have one start in Major League Baseball this season. It did come when Colorado was in Chicago on this previous road trip, I believe. In that start, he gets the win. He gives up 4 hits, goes 7 innings, 55 fantasy points. So he's faced the Chicago team already once. I'm not saying this is a tremendous matchup. I'm just saying throw a little caution to the wind. The guy went out in Wrigley Field, threw a nice start out there, went 7. 55 fantasy points, nothing to blink at. So that's kind of something to think about when you're talking about the Cubs and their implied run total today as well. So, yeah, pitching.
Don't you think, like he went out, very good outing against the Cubs, and all all these hitters seen him, they're gonna adjust to him, and they'll have a better day to day. Like, what do you think about that?
That is not always the case. That is not always the case.
Yeah, I'm just asking. Like I said, I'm not so much of a baseball guy. That's just kind of the way I would look at it.
It always sounds good, but let me tell you something. You have to so look. What do you want to look at it from a BVP standpoint? Okay, you look at it from a BVP standpoint, which I think you can throw BVP completely out the window, right? From a BVP standpoint, they're gonna have terrible BVP against this guy, right? So he pitched 7 innings against them. He had 55 fantasy points. Obviously, there were some strikeouts in that lineup, right? So, are you gonna, as a hitter, are you going to make an adjustment? The sample size isn't large enough for you to go make an adjustment. Maybe you got 2 at-bats against a guy. He starts you off with a fastball in your first at-bat so you can see what the guy's got. Then he, breaks you off a curveball. Maybe see 2-3 pitches against him. Your next at-bat, maybe he pitches you backwards, right? So, okay, what adjustment are you going to make to the 6 pitches you saw against the guy?
Right. Yeah, no, I get you.
So, my pitchers, the way I rank them out right now, I have Patrick Corbin and Luis Castillo graded out as the top 2. Chris Paddock number 3. That's kind of how far I'll get into this on this video. Save the rest for the On Deck. Tune in the On Deck video if you want to get a full breakdown of all the pitching options. But there's definitely some mid-tier options that are also in play on this very large slate. I couldn't agree more with you about Manny Banuelos. I think this is a terrible spot for Manny Banuelos. Not a guy who's a very good pitcher. I also think that, look, the deep dive is where we really unveiled to attack Chris Archer. And I think that the Braves are in pretty much the same exact spot. The one team that I'm going to throw out there that I think everybody should look to target today, the Arizona Diamondbacks of Tuesday, if you will, that's the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Okay.
Mike Foltynewicz is terrible. He's absolutely terrible. I have the Pirates ranked as my 3rd best stack, right behind the Minnesota Twins. And you have to look at his ISOs against left-handed bats and against right-handed bats. He only has an 18.2 K percentage against left-handed bats, a 329 ISO against him. That's the highest ISO for lefties on the slate, behind Tyler Beede, actually. And Beede has a small sample size. Right-handed bats, only a 20.6 K percentage and a 348 ISO against right-handed bats. He's been lit up. His last start was against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh put 8 or 9 runs on the board in that game. Chris Archer actually got the win. He kind of dominated the Atlanta Braves in that spot. I think that Pittsburgh won that game 8-1. So the Pirates are a team to me that everybody should be on. You mentioned the environment that they're in. It's a better environment than where they play in Pittsburgh. That stadium is more of a hitter-friendly environment. I definitely think that the Pittsburgh Pirates are in play today. I think it's a really good stack. You could look at Josh Bell, Starling Marte, Kevin Newman, the regular cast of characters they have there. Their ISO numbers, when you look at them, their ISO numbers are actually better against right-handed pitching than they are as a whole. So you have to give them a bump when they face right-handed bats. Josh Bell, the leader by far, over a 300 ISO this year against right-handed pitching. Josh Bell is quietly having a very solid year, and I hope this guy gets the votes needed to be an all-star, because I would like to see Josh Bell in the home run derby. This guy's had a great year so far.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that's a good call, man. Atlanta's it's a really good hitting environment. Like I said, it's starting to get hot, and when it's hot, balls fly. Another guy I really like, you mentioned him, Marte. Starling Marte had a really big day yesterday. He gives you stolen base upside, power upside. 3,700 is a very good price tag for him. Polanco was an all-star last year, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah. So Polanco, he's still coming cheap, not necessarily having the year that that he had last year, but he can get going. I think that is a really good call.
The last 2 I'm going to mention just quickly: Darwinzon Hernandez, 9 games in Double-A, a 1.1-4 record with a 5.13 ERA. He's pitched in 1 game in Major League Baseball. Gave up 4 hits over 2 1/3. He pitches for Boston. This is not a good matchup for him.
For sure. So, hey man, we gave you a lot today. We kind of gave you a lot to think about. There's a lot of spots on this 15-game slate that you could definitely attack. There's going to be some spots that are a little bit lower owned compared to others. whenever there's Coors Field on the slate, everybody kind of gravitates to that. But hey, you don't always need Coors Field just to take.
There was a ton of runs and a bunch of ballparks that scored more runs than Coors Field did last night.
For sure. So, hey, man, if you want a more in-depth analysis on today's slate, make sure to check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. Got a bunch of stuff up for MLB. Plus, we got NHL up every single day on the weekends, MMA, PGA, NASCAR. Truly your one-stop shop for all your DFS needs. Make sure to check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. And, hey, good luck on your guys' contest tonight, and peace out.